Hey everyone, my name is Rooster and welcome back to Mechabellum. I've got an exciting game for you guys which was part of the Serpentine Cup, the group stage, which happened last Saturday, and I happened to be invited, which I'm very grateful for, so big thank you to GoDog from the 201 server who managed to set all of this up. Now, long story short, this was a group stage, 8 participants, 2 of which would make it through to the finals this Sunday. Links to that final will be down below in case you're interested. And I managed to do really well. I actually won all of my first games, made it into the winners finals where I lost to Flower Fairy. You might recognize that name because he is the one who won Season 2 of Mac 1. So yeah, very strong opponent, made it straight through, and sadly I lost, but I gave myself a second chance with this game, which is the losers final, which will determine the second person to make it through. Now, this is against Laumam. Laumam is about 2300 to 2400, really strong standard player, and of course here I'm going to opt to do some aggressive stuff because I think I'm more comfortable playing aggro than anything else, certainly against people that are, well, this well versed, right, in long range games. I'm a Farseer specialist, my opponent is a Rhino specialist. He starts with Ball Fang, goes for double Arclight, playing standard, and I have Tarantula Fang, double Crawler purchase here on round 1, and I'm kind of looking to buy some Phoenixes on round 2 as my DPS option. I tend not to like Marksman too much because I feel like they're not suited to playing aggro, unless you have Assault Marksman, but that's a different story altogether. And I just prefer the speed, the DPS, the deployment value of a Phoenix. Doesn't look like we're doing too poorly here on round 1 though. Those steel balls, a little bit scary, and it looks like we won't be going for debuff, but maybe, just maybe, if we can take down these steel balls, we'll be winning round 1 here. And I'd be very happy with that. Fang's doing a great job of blocking so far. I have one Fang on the tower there. He knows the mission, but I'm not sure he'll be able to complete it as this Tarantula is murdering the enemy team. Now taking care of the Fangs, and that should be round 1 done with, and I'm very happy with that. Oh, wait. Oh, there is no way. Look at these 2 Fangs. How has that happened? One on my tower and one on his, but that means my Tarantula gets to pick up the 200 experience from the tower and now walk over to the other one to pick up another 200. That is insane. Spider, for those of you that may know, got nerfed. The experience requirement is a big thing now, and being able to just farm this much, 13-15 on round 1 is absolutely crazy. I could not have been happier with how this first round went. Wow. Okay, good start. Opponent does have a sizable amount of hit points, so I have to be a little bit wary there. Laser Sight shows up. Seems like the best item. Photon Coating is fine if there's nothing else, but Laser Sight is just one of those insta-picks. Really powerful and valuable item. And great for things like Phoenixes. Opponent actually goes for the Photon there, though. Doesn't want the Laser Sight. A little bit surprising to me, but maybe he has something in mind with the 400 resources that he has left. And yeah, I go for a Phoenix. I make sure that one of them is on the line with the tower. That way it should turn, should a air flank come in. And I just buy another Crawler here to defend the flank, right? This is just nice to have. Second wave of Crawlers. If he adds a Crawler here, then this will be able to defend it. And the opponent just goes for a bunch of chaff from the looks of things. Opts in for another Arc and 2 Crawler packs. One of them in the middle for now, one of them on my flank, so trying to annoy me there somewhat. Will definitely be quite successful, but if I manage to just buy another Tarantula and start teching into the range, I should be completely fine here. Steel balls are walking in though, and this Spider is a little bit on its own. Oh, looks like a Crawler was put on my left flank too, so getting flanked from every direction. And I'm not too sure if this Spider will be able to do enough here. Yeah, tower debuff there, not great. And the Arclight's still alive. We'll make sure that my chaff is dealt with. I even have an Assassin Steel Ball on my tower there, which adds insult to injury, I have to say. But a great round for my opponent, and he still has enough Fangs left alive to be able to dispatch the Phoenixes. So this won't be a cheeky win by default for me. And the opponent strikes back immediately. Keep in mind, I don't have that many hit points to start with, so now already going down to 3500 is a little scary. Nano Repair Kit shows up, picked up for Laumam. I could see a photon coating. A nano repair, maybe not the worst, as my tarantula did level up, so could utilize that if I want to. It's also such a strong unit later on. If you manage to get your hands on like a level 2 fortress drop or a level 2 worm drop, it's very, very hard to deal with and pretty much forces a melter for your opponent. Mass-produced Wraith, I mean, it's a decent card, but when you have spiders, you don't really need to think about other chaff clear units. These ones will be plenty as long as you invest in them. And that's what we're going to do. I add a crawler on the flank, and then I give the level here to the tarantula. Of course, we have to deal with this flank as well. Not too sure how I want to address that. Looks like it's just going to be the impact drill on the crawlers. That way I should be able to just win the side here as I put a crawler in front. It's unlikely my opponent will tech his crawlers too, as he only has a couple and we're still setting up the chaff. Managed to grab a level on the steel ball though and utilize the nano repair on that unit. I also level up the tower, and so it's a pretty tame round for me. Just some level ups, attack on the crawlers, and more chaff deployments. This time around we don't get pulled just as much, and things are looking a bit better. Spider in the middle, still struggling, I will say. But I'm not too sure what I should do about that, other than, well, basically waiting for next round and being able to get into maybe more phoenixes. Crawlers are doing a decent job here, but of course that level 2 Arclight unfazed by the drill crawlers. And the one in the middle does a good job of fending off that crawler push on the left side. And as my phoenixes are left alive, and even though they do kill the steel balls and manage to pick up a level, again, this does look to be another round for Laomam, as he picked up a marksman this round just to secure the anti-air a little bit more. Now, round number 4, we get 3 units, and my opponent gets his Rhino, I get my Farseer, so lots and lots of deployments. We'll have to see how we want to make use out of this. I could see the Saber, but into steel balls it's a little bit scary. It is good into the Rhino though. But with Phantom Rays being offered, this just seemed like the best response. It should be good into pretty much everything that's being offered here. My opponent doesn't have the best anti-air. A level 1 marksman certainly won't cut it. So I'm just trying to get more tempo. And then the benefit is I have a Farseer available, so I can deal with the flank here and kind of push in. And I immediately have somewhat of a response to a potential Phantom Mirror, because I already have the level Phoenixes and again that Farseer. Now we're pushing left side here, trying to make good use out of all of those deployments. Missile comes out, Fang, a Tarantula, and I'm starting to set up here to click range on the Tarantulas sometime soon, probably next turn. Opponent picks up the Sabers, or not the Sabers, the Badgers, excuse me, and throws one of them on the flank by the looks of things. Goes for the Drill Mirror, so wants to give this a shot. Was not quite expecting this. I'm not too sure how much it really does for him, as he also picks up Arclight range. Rhino is not being used offensively. I thought maybe he would throw it at my left tower, which is why I'm also pushing here. But I think we should be able to get in. We do get this Crawler Beacon though, which is kind of annoying to deal with, and when you see people do this, the best way to deal with it is often to just keep missiling it. Crawler pull though, we'll make sure that we deal with these Badgers, but yeah, I mean, look at this main board just kind of collapsing there. And now the units are making a beeline for my right tower as the Phoenixes turn around. We do get the tower from the opponent though, and maybe these Phantom Rays can just move in. If they can grab this marksman, we should just win by default. But the debuff timer here will not be that great. Yeah, 9 seconds as the Rhino punches our tower. And the marksman, even though it's level 1, during debuff, it's really quite capable of taking care of some of these phantoms. But lucky for us, we still have enough left alive. And it looks like we should pick up the round. And it's not even that bad of a round either. If the Farseer lives and the phantoms live as well, that should just be a bunch of damage going the way of our opponent, and it will be. Now sending him down to 4k hit points. Bunch of levels available on the crawlers here, which will just secure the mirror for me, so I'm quite happy with that. Absorption module shows up, and well, it is quite a good item, I have to say. Could throw that on a spider, could even just hold on to it. Don't go for it here though. Looks like I'm just gonna go for the redeployment instead. And I can make good use out of this. It's a cheap spell, and on aggro you'll find many uses for it. I redeploy the Phoenixes in front of this Fire Badger to make sure we get rid of it a little bit quicker. And I finally grab the range on my tarantulas. Opponent goes for the shield airdrop. Not interested in the redeployment from the looks of it. And we'll have to see how he deals with the Phantom Rays. Picks up a bunch of blue marksmen there. 3 of them, in fact, and instantly clicks the anti-air tech. Now, this will be enough, I believe, to not quite one-shot. I think it should one-shot the Phantom Rays here. I guess we'll see, but I do believe this will one-shot the level 2 Phantom Rays. But, well, I bought one more, but I was kind of prodding to see how much the opponent would commit. And once I see this, I'm probably going to abandon the whole Phantom Ray idea and start pivoting to something else entirely. Missile here to deal with the flank, which is dealt with swiftly. Phantom Rays are doing an okay job, but yeah, it looks like they are getting one shot, so don't want to feed those marksmen too much. Don't want to play into the opponent that already committed to the anti-air tech, and instead here I should pivot to something else. If I can grab the shield there, I'd be quite happy. Looks like I should be able to. Oh, the debuff though. That's a little bit unfortunate. Steel ball still locked onto my spider. Come on, Farseer. Grab that shield. It's going to be very, very good. Okay, nice. Got the shield. That's all I could ask for. And though we do lose, and we're now starting to get in a little bit tricky territory, 2200 hit points, at least we got some value. Round number 6, 3 units show up, and Fortress here does look quite tempting. Wraith, of course, can be a little bit scary for me to deal with, because my opponent has the answers, but I have a Farseer, and I have ranged level 2 Phoenixes, so I should be fine. Everything else is like okay, but I feel like when this level 2 Fortress shows up, you usually just have to pick it. Specifically when you're playing aggro and you have the techs that I do with the range and the overload, it's too powerful of a swap to turn down. Now I sell out of one of the Phantoms, the other one I can reposition somewhere in the backline so that it doesn't get insta-locked. Opponent goes for the Fortress as well, realizing how powerful this unit is. And there's a bit of a difference here in techs, right? You can see that I'm running the dueling techs with range and overload. My opponent is going for a more like supportive setup with the Fang spawn, which is very, very good late game. It's hard to beat with the deployment efficiency, but in a duel, it definitely will lose to the overload setup. And yeah, here it's good to recognize that I have to buy more fortresses instantly, and I take range. Range is just going to be powerful against Arclights, against the Badgers, against the Steel Balls, against the enemy fortresses. It just helps with everything, right? Now, the one downside is my opponent clicks it too, understands that this has now turned into a giant fight, and it does have that nano repair kit available. So while I do have one more fortress, opponent has the item advantage. And it looks like the Steel Ball there, oh boy, that is not looking good at all. Steel Ball's locking onto the fortress, sadly, and managing to take it down. That is not at all what I was hoping for. And left side, we're trying our best, but it just doesn't quite look like I'm getting the correct lock-ons. Chaff gear seems to still be an issue, and that is a disastrous round for me, as I will take a bunch of damage. Now going down to 879 hit points. And round number 7, things get possibly even worse. Assault Fortress is offered though, which is a great card for me. That bonus movement speed and the bonus attack and hit points can definitely help out. But yeah, I'm a bit scared about this Incendiary Bomb, because how am I going to deal with that? I don't really want to take Barrier here, and even if I do, opponent probably can't just land the fire, yeah, on his side of the board, and it's hard for me to block any of it. And I really want to get into the dueling techs. So here, I'm just opting to go for the overload on my fortresses, understanding that I do have that tech advantage over my opponents, but can we somehow survive this? I'm not too sure. 879, and look at the amount of fire on the board. I do put down some shields, about as far as I want to put, or can put them, because if I put them all the way on the line, there's a chance that they get broken instantly by the enemy fortress. And yeah, we're just trying to pressure the right tower here as much as we can. Maybe I should have moved some stuff over, but either way, I'm going to lose a bunch of chaff. Fortress level up. 2 more picked up from the looks of it on the right side of the board. And we are loaning temp range, temp speed, trying to get through this as fast as we can. Opponent picks up some Mustangs, which is a little bit surprising to me because I think he had decent chaff clear, but maybe he's worried about a potential wasp cheese from me. And we'll have to see how this plays out. All of the fire lands, so no more crawlers for me, sadly. And enemy fortress has already managed to lock onto my spider. How much will it be able to do? I do have the overload, which is a good thing, because it means my fortresses shoot at 0.9 seconds, which is the same as arc lights. They don't quite have the same splash, but it will help them chaff clear somewhat, and we can see that we're making it through now. On the right side of the board, we're locked onto that big fortress of his, managing to take it down, and now waddling through the fire. All we have to do now is get over to the left side of the board. This tower is fortified, so the Mustangs will take a while to take it down. We're getting more shields, and I think we might just have enough hit points, but also units left alive to save ourselves from taking lethal damage on this round. There we go. Fortress is now moving in. Enemy fortress retaliating, though, and tower is starting to get really, really low. How much can my fortress do? DPSing as much as it can? Okay, we'll get rid of the enemy fortress. And it looks like we're even going to manage to win that round. That is quite fortunate. And it means that we'll still be in this one. And now I'm feeling quite confident about my odds, because I've been selling out of the phantoms, of course, but look at all these level ups I'm getting on the fortresses. That is really going to propel me in this matchup. And well, my opponent has started to invest into fortress as well, but is now starting to lose the mirror, so we'll probably have to start building a different unit. And that's very favorable for me, right? Because all I have to do is, yep, pick up those levels and just start buying more fortresses. Now, there is a Vulcan drop available here, and I have to say, I probably briefly saw it, but really wasn't thinking about it too much, so this could be scary. We'll have to see. The left tower, of course, is leveled up, so I don't mind the Vulcan targeting that, but the right one isn't, and that could spell trouble. Maybe, just maybe though, these crawlers can delay it for long enough, or at least lure it into the left tower. We'll have to see. Opponent is beaconing these crawlers backwards. I'm adding some on the shallow flank to protect against a potential melter, and yeah, there it is. Opponent now trying to get into melter arclight, something of the sort. And I really should be missiling this. Okay, I do. Good thing that I do. Missile the right crawler so that we don't get delayed too much, and then hopefully, yep, the crawlers will advance, get in front of my fortress and save it for some time. Vulcan in the backline does get distracted, and even better, looks like the Farseer has set its eyes on it. Maybe we can take this down. Enemy fortress though, that's a big boy. Level 3, left side collapsing. Maybe, just maybe, we can get a tower debuff here, as the fortresses have managed to take down the melter, and with the debuff, that should be our round to take. And there we go. Okay, opponent now down to 776. I'm feeling confident. That looked dominating. And how much we'll be able to pull off. Ion Blast available. I'm very scared about the mobilized battleship here as well. Again, another one of those backline drops that I should be careful of. But opponent goes for the Ion Blast. I pick it up as well. Naturally, have to go for it in these type of situations because it's do or die. And I'm probably going to throw that over the melter. Opponent does shield up. And here I'm thinking, okay, 900 is a lot for barrier. But with all these levels on the fortress, it's probably worth picking up. I also do redeploy a Phoenix in the backline just in case opponent tries to overload drop me. And now we see EMP coming out from the opponent. Sells out of one of his fortresses. And yeah, I'm quite happy about him having to pivot here. Should still give me the advantage. Now, I think I make a crucial mistake in this round. I forget to missile this crawler pack, and you will see that is going to be quite painful, as I won't be able to kill all of these crawlers fast enough, and it'll create some awkward chasing for sure. I also add some more crawlers onto the flank, another fortress. Oh, that was already there, but we're kind of trying to do the same thing on the left side, which is kind of unstaffed when you look at it. Only one melter over there and some small units. But yeah, look at this. Right side, chasing after those crawlers means that my corner fortress gets locked instantly. And now my fortress here getting distracted. What are you doing? Please go for the left tower. We need that debuff ASAP as my units are starting to falter. Okay, finally we do get the debuff. Thank goodness. But the melter there gets ignored somewhat. At least we kill the one in the middle. One on the right goes down as well. We now need to get rid of this level 3 fortress of the enemy, but that will be no issue. And look at these fangs. Carrying the round. How much can this melter do though? It's gonna get rid of the fortress techs with the EMP barrage. Gonna take down my level 2 fortress. And is this fortress walking faster than the fangs? I think it is, yeah. Oh, that is not looking too good. That's the downside, I guess, of the assault fortress. Now getting EMP'd yet again. And will we be able to take the round? Not quite. Melting point now, killing my tarantula. And only some fangs left. Oh boy. Looks like this is going to go to round 10, as the melting point will prevail and the EMP will save my opponent from getting taken down. 529 hit points now. And of course we get 3 units on the final possible round for the 3rd rotation. I decided to pick up some sledgehammers here because I think it's just good into melters. It should prevent this from insta-locking, and it'll take some time for him to, well, get rid of all of these sledges. The only thing that's good into it really is that fortress, and he only has 1 of them. Now I have to be careful though, because I was aware of the fact that the Wraith showed up. Level 5 on my flank now with the field maintenance, and I think to myself, what is the only way I lose? Because this was looking really dominant. I think I would win that round instantly if I just missiled this crawler, by the way. That's how much of a difference it made. But if I remember to do that, I should just win no matter what the opponent does, and all I have to do is cover potential cheese. So I decide to pick up my own melters, tech range, and make sure that I defend against these type of shenanigans. We also sell out of our Phoenix, make sure that we repurpose that laser sight. Fantastic on melter, should give us an advantage in the mirror. And then we loan, we click temp range, temp speed, we grab some levels on the fortresses where possible. And that should just be enough. Farseer on the flank here, melter here on the flank to cover a potential Wraith. I thought the Farseer would be able to deal with it, or at least stall it for some time, and to be honest, with the level tower, I thought if he would go for it, he would try and have a go at my unleveled tower on the right side. But this is looking quite good. And sledgers on the flank even, we're getting spicy, but you'll see the melter really doesn't like shooting at this. Now I have to deal with crawlers on top of things. My melter, perfectly positioned, will deal with that cheese. I was very happy when I saw this, and immediately I thought, okay, surely cat's in the bag now, right? We've done it. Look at this fortress on the left side, moving in, getting the tower debuff. Level 1 melters don't stand a chance. Getting one shot even there during the debuff from the looks of it. And it is overwhelming victory for the fortresses as we managed to secure the 2nd ticket for the Serpentine Cup Finals, and you will see me play in that this Sunday. Very happy with my performance here. This was a scary game. I got to very low hit points. That fire definitely scared me for a bit, but we managed to get there, and this is why I love running Launcher Overload. If you get a drop like this and your opponent mirrors and they're running Fang Spawn, they really can't compete. It is far too hard to do. If he went for like Fang Spawn, I could still click something like High Explosive on my Tarantulas, but to be honest, if I just overload one side, I think I'll be able to get to the enemy tower always, and the DPS is just going to be lacking if you don't have that overload tech. So yeah, great game. Let me know what you thought down below. Please leave a thumbs up if you liked it. If you want to stay up to date with the latest content, please consider subscribing. And if you want to see me play live, check me out on Twitch. Again, I will be playing in the Serpentine Cup this Sunday. With that being said, take care, guys, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.